Sophia's POV. Wake up, Safi. I told you last night that Alpha is out of the pack. I have to go to the pack house early today. I was sleeping soundly when I heard a loud knock on my door. I tried to sleep once more, this time with my pillow over my ear. My brother Abraham was banging on the door. He was 3 years older than me. He had recently been promoted to Gamma of our Nightshade pack. As a result, his responsibilities increased day by day. If you don't come out right now, I will kill your boyfriend. He threatened me. I opened my eyes instantly and sat up. TSK. Why are you doing this to me? I am coming. Wait for me. Good girl. I rolled my eyes. He was well aware of my weakness, which was my boyfriend, Bruce Morrison. It was a blessing to have a man like him in my life. He loved me. I had complete faith in him. He was the younger brother of our Alpha Bryan Morrison. Despite sharing the same blood, they were totally different in nature. Bruce was a calm, collected person. He could get along with everyone. On the other hand, his big brother Brian was a really cold-hearted man. Everyone in our pack was frightened of him. They said that with a gaze as sharp as a dagger, he exuded an air of danger that sent shivers down the spines of those who dared to cross his path. His every move was calculated, and his every action was deliberate in the realms of wolves. His deadly demeanor had the ability to kill any alpha at any time. He was not only the strongest alpha but also a business tycoon who catapulted our pack to the top of the world's richest packs. Well, that's what I had heard about him. I had seen him once. On Bruce's last birthday, I caught a glimpse of him. I was relieved that Bruce was not cold like him. Bruce was a gentleman, and most importantly, he cared about me. I went to have a shower, dressed in a simple blue long dress, and put on a pair of sneakers. I quickly grabbed my phone and bag, then dashed downstairs. See, she is seldom on time. I overheard my brother complaining about me to my mother. Mom, don't listen to him. He and his alpha are both just getting on my nerves. He informed me last night that we would be leaving early. But at what time? He never said that. I can't even get a proper sleep because of him. My mother laughed. She was used to this bickering. Abraham and I said our goodbyes to our mother and left our house. We got into his car, and he began driving. Mom assigned me the duty of sending you to your university every day. Otherwise, you would have gone there by foot. Okay, you don't have to drop me then. I will tell Brew Dash. Don't even think about it. I'll drop you off every day. I don't like that guy. Of course you can't like him. Because he is not your boyfriend but mine. I know him better than anyone. He loves me. In fact, he promised me that he would come to have a conversation with Mom about us after my 18th birthday. I replied in a mocking tone. When every pack member reached the age of 18, they found their mates. A lot of people today would rather have the person they chose than their fated mate. So they could reject their mate if they wanted. However, there was a different law that only applied to the head alpha. Our pack's head alpha could not reject his fated mate. If he did, his mate would die. Additionally, other alphas would degrade his position as the leader of the Nightshade pack, which was worse than death. Which is tomorrow. It's your birthday tomorrow, Sophia. My brother reminded me. Then he will come the day after tomorrow. I will keep an eye on him first, then I will let you be his mate. Bruce was the same age as my brother. I did not know why, but my brother was not fond of him at all. However, he assumed Bruce might be my mate, so he had to accept us together. Okay, my brother. As you wish. I remarked sarcastically. He lightly hit my head with his knuckles, which made me laugh. He dropped me off at the main entrance of my university. University of Nightshade. It was my ideal university. I had to put in a lot of effort to get here. I was in my freshman year. After attending a few classes, I was feeling bored. My best friend Louisa was not with me. She did not show up today. Where is she? I thought about it and dialed her number. She did not answer my call. I was missing Bruce as well. He did not come either. I dialed his phone number. He received the phone call after 2 rings. Hello. Where are you, Bruce? Baby, I told you, brother went to the Moon Valley Pack to bring my sister-in-law here. He is returning today. Their engagement is tomorrow. So I am at the pack house right now. Oh, yes. How did I forget about big brother-in-law's engagement ceremony? I think because of this, my brother went there early today. He also informed me that we were invited to the ceremony. Don't worry, baby. If you had forgotten, I would have reminded you. so there is no need to worry. I am currently quite busy. I wish you were here. But it's okay. You should be in your class. I will call you later. Okay, bye. Bye. I sighed as Bruce hung up the phone. He was doing the right thing by helping his family. Suddenly an idea popped into my mind. I should go to the pack house to surprise him. I will lend him a hand at work. He will be overjoyed. I exited my university and hailed a cab. I got to the pack house area in 20 minutes. I paid the cab driver and then proceeded to the pack house. Guards halted me at the entrance at first, but when I told them I was Gamma Abraham's sister, they let me in. As I stepped into the house, a wave of fragrance enveloped me, filling the air with the sweet scent of blooming flowers. Every corner was adorned with an abundance of vibrant petals, creating a rainbow of colors that danced before my eyes. The walls were adorned with delicate bouquets, their petals gently cascading down like a waterfall of nature's beauty. The whole pack house looked like a bride. I laughed at the thought of referring to a house as a bride. Why would they not decorate the house? It was Alpha Bryan's engagement. Everyone would get their Luna tomorrow. I looked around to find Bruce, but he was nowhere to be found. Excuse me, where is Bruce? I asked a maid. He is not here. The maid responded with a gentle smile. I assumed he might be in his room. So I asked, where is his room? Upstairs in the corner, she replied before returning to her work. Thanks. I went upstairs and looked at the two corners. Which one? The right one or the left one? I asked myself, remembering that I had forgotten to ask about which corner. I followed my instincts and went to the far left corner. I realized the room was at the end of the corner. I walked slowly and came to a halt in front of the door. I opened the door and gasped. It was a master bedroom. A sense of order and cleanliness washed over me. Every corner was meticulously arranged, as if each item had been carefully placed with purpose. A king-sized bed stood proudly at the center, its regal presence commanding attention. The room itself had an air of elegance, with flawless white furniture carefully arranged to create a sense of peace. The walls were painted a dark color. The window beside the bed gave a view of the forest. To my surprise, I felt completely different vibes in this room. Bruce. I called his name, but I got no reply. Where was he? Didn't he say he was in the pack house? I tried to dial his number, but his phone was unreachable. I thought he would be back soon. So I took my time studying the entire room. My gaze was drawn to a photograph on the nightstand. I took a slow step toward it and took the photo frame. It was a picture of two brothers, Bruce and his big brother. Unknowingly, I sat on the soft mattress and stroked Bruce's face through the glass frame. It looked like this picture was taken in their teenage days. Bruce looked cute, and his brother looked frigid, as others said about him. When he arrived at Bruce's birthday celebration last year to wish him, I had only seen a glance of his face from afar. Bruce couldn't even introduce me to him since he had to leave in a hurry for a pack meeting. The age difference between them was only 2 years. However, Bruce respected his brother Elodie in this picture. His brother looked handsome but was a very arrogant boy, who had thought that one day this boy would become the most powerful alpha. Whispers of his name echo through the corridors of power, spreading like wildfire among those who have witnessed his ruthless attacks in the war. I was lost in the picture. All of a sudden, a cold voice behind me made me come out of my thoughts and trembled me to the core. How dare you enter my room without my permission? How dare you enter my room without my permission? I immediately stood up and turned to the door. The man standing at the door was none other than Bryan Morrison. He possessed an undeniable charm, with his striking appearance, but the chill in his gaze sent shivers down my spine. His dark eyes glared at me. I let out a gasp, and my hand began to shake. The photo frame slipped out of my grasp and onto the floor without my knowledge. I did not know that it was his room. Be big brother-in-law, I said with a trembling tone. Brother-in-law? Is what I've heard correct, Bryan? After entering the room, a woman positioned herself next to Bryan. She was a stunningly beautiful woman. She had a beauty that men usually worship. She was wearing a white dress that reached her knees. Her curves underlined her slender and attractive figure. After giving me an in-depth look from head to toe, she turned her attention to him. Is she Bruce's girlf? Bryan raised his hand to stop her from continuing to speak. His gaze moved down to the floor. I slowly lowered my eyes and saw that the glass of the photo frame was broken. My eyes widened when I saw the crack between the two brothers in the picture. In a hurry, I sat down and reached out to touch the photo. I am cleaning it, I said. Leave. I heard him. I turned my head to look at him. His eyes were still on the photo as if he were angry to look at me. And if he did, he would kill me. I gulped and tried to apologize. I am sorry. Leave. He yelled at me. I flinched at his cold tone, and a shard of glass pierced my finger. I lowered my head and stood up. I rushed out of his room while trying to control my tears. The moment I came out of his room, tears began to stream down my cheeks. I stopped and bit my bottom lip to prevent myself from crying. No one had ever talked to me like that. I sobbed and was about to move when I heard the woman talking to him. Bryan, she is so cheap. Did you see her dressing sense? I looked down at my clothes. What was wrong with my clothes? I was wearing a decent dress. What's wrong with our Bruce? Does he really like that girl? I can't believe this. He has such a bad choice. I frowned and made my way to the stairs. I did not want to stay a single second here. I did not come here to take any humiliation. I climbed down the stairs and directly headed to the main door. Sophia. I heard someone calling me from behind. As I turned around, I saw Bruce's mother, Juliana Morrison. She tilted her head and smiled at me. Hey, how come you are here? And why are you leaving? In an effort to get myself back under control, I smiled at her back. I had seen her last year at Bruce's birthday party, just like his big brother. But the difference was that Bruce could introduce me to his parents. They knew me. His mother was a very nice lady. Luna, how are you? I asked and walked to her. She held my hands and told me to sit on the couch with her. She glanced at the maids who were working there. They bowed to her and left the living hall. She chuckled and shook her head in reply. I am not your Luna anymore. Mila will be your Luna very soon, she said. Mila. I thought about this name. She was talking about Bryan's fiancée, the woman I had just seen in his room. Considering that his brother was going to marry her in the near future, Bruce always referred to her as his sister-in-law. In fact, it was Bruce who told me to call Bryan brother-in-law. He said calling him Alpha would sound awkward since we would become a family soon. Why yeah, I said while recalling the humiliations. She is the daughter of the head Alpha of the Moon Valley Pack. She is the best choice for my son. She is an eligible woman. She will treat the whole pack well. At least I hope so. She described her soon-to-be daughter-in-law with a very bright face. I experienced a sense of unease. I would be her daughter-in-law too. But I was not from any different pack with any high status. I belonged to a very average family. My father was not an alpha of any pack but a fighter wolf. He died in an accident, leaving my mother and us alone. To raise my brother and me, my mother had to work very hard. For the sake of achieving the rank of Gamma, my brother worked with his blood, sweat, and tears. For the purpose of getting into the best university so that I could graduate and make my mother proud, I studied hard. That was what we had. We had self-respect but no higher reputation. As if she understood my thoughts, she placed her hand on my head. Don't think that I am not happy with you just because I am talking about my big daughter-in-law. Every time Bruce speaks, he mentions you. When I met you at the party, I felt that he had made a wise decision. You are a pretty girl. Does he behave well with you? I looked at her. The anxiety that had been nagging at my head vanished swiftly. With a smile on my face, I gave her a nod. He is really good with me. I am very lucky to have him. I received a nod from her. Her smile never left her face. She was happy that both of her sons were settling down with good women. A few maids arrived with snacks and arranged them on the tea table. Where is Bruce, Auntie? I heard him having a conversation with a girl named Louisa. Maybe he has some work outside. Oh, Louisa? What was Bruce talking about with her? Then it hit my mind. Tomorrow was my birthday. So were they planning something for me? I stood up and said, Auntie, give me permission to leave now. I have some work. She raised her brows. You didn't eat anything. Next time, Auntie. I am in a hurry right now. You are coming tomorrow with Abraham, right? Yeah. Bring your mother with you. I lowered my head shyly and nodded my head. I left the pack house. I dialed Luisa's number. She did not receive my call again. I took a cab to go to Luisa's house. You both are planning a surprise for me and thought I would never know that? I thought with a chuckle. But in my mind, I did not want to ruin their surprise. I was just going to her house to see if she was okay because she did not come to the university today. I had no idea where Bruce was. But since he lied to me, he was really up to something. I reached Louisa's house. It was her maid who opened the door. Hello. Where is Louisa? She is in her bedroom. Okay. I am going there. I told her and made my way upstairs to Louisa's bedroom. I was pleased today. Why not? I had the opportunity to listen to compliments from my future mother-in-law. I stood in front of Louisa's door. I was surprised when I opened the door. She was using her phone. Didn't I call her many times? What caused her not to receive mine? Nevertheless, my eyes fell on her body, which was covered with a blanket. I entered the room and asked, Louisa, do you have a fever? She looked shocked when she saw me, as if she were looking at a ghost. Why are you here? She asked and immediately tried to cover her neck and arms with the blanket. I was unable to understand her reaction. But suddenly I heard the sound of someone opening a door. I turned my head toward the bathroom. There I saw a man coming out with wet hair, wearing a white bathrobe. I could not believe my eyes. I felt a pang in my heart. My eyes began to well up with tears as I uttered his name. Bruce. I felt as if the ground had slipped beneath my feet. It would have been better if I had buried myself before seeing this. So Sophia. Bruce looked stunned when he saw me. What would he think? He would keep cheating on me, and I could not get to know about it. How could you? I took a step back. I felt heavy in my chest. The person I most trusted betrayed me. I had always wished to spend the rest of my life with him. I thought I was a lucky girl to have him, but what did I get in return? Cheating. Sophia, whatever you are thinking, nothing is like that, baby. Bruce attempted to approach me, but I stopped him by lifting my hand. I shook my head. I felt like passing out. I turned my head toward Louisa. Her head was down. How could she have done that? Wasn't she my best friend? And you? I muttered to her. She looked at me and shook her head. She forgot she was wrapped in a blanket. Her blanket had fallen from her chest. A few marks on her naked body became visible in front of my eyes. When I saw that, I almost fell to the floor. I was speechless. How could they play dirty with me? Sophia, I am sorry. Please forgive me, baby. Bruce came close and held my hand. I felt disgusted when he touched me. I yanked my hand out of his grasp and slapped him. How long? I asked. He was silent. Why was he so quiet right now? It had been 2 years since we had been in a relationship. He promised me to be a loyal man. He vowed to me that he would mark me and make me his mate. A few years ago, I went to the pack house with my brother when he wasn't yet the Gamma. That time I met Bruce. He began to show up at my school to meet me. We began dating a few months later. He had already rejected his mate at that time. He told me that he had rejected his mate because she had cheated on him. But what exactly was he doing now? I asked how long. I yelled at him. He remained silent, not even making eye contact. I went to Louisa. You tell me, how long have you been doing this behind my back with him? I wanted to hear for myself how long they had made a fool out of me. Oh, 1 year. She replied as she turned away from me. I bit my lips, almost bleeding. I could not take more stabs in my heart. I didn't want to do that, Sophia. I only love you. I heard Bruce. Did he still have the courage to speak? I scoffed at him. After what he did, he had the audacity to say that. Why did you cheat on me? You never let me touch you. I am an alpha. I have some desires that I need to fulfill. So I had to go another route. I was waiting to turn 18. I wanted to become your mate and wife. Before doing anything, I wanted to give our relationship a name. I have never considered another man. I was saving myself just for you. But couldn't you wait for me? Not even another year. You started cheating on me after only 1 year of our relationship. I tightened my fists to stop crying. I took a deep breath. Everything is over. The relationship between us is over. I told Bruce. I looked at Louisa, whom I used to call my best friend. Don't come in front of me again. She did not try to justify herself. As if she had nothing to say. I turned around to leave. I ran downstairs while crying. Sophia. Bruce rushed down the stairs and grabbed my arm. Don't touch me. How dare you say that you broke up with me? You can't go anyway. No one will accept you. Everyone knows that you are my girlfriend. You are a weak Omega. No one will make you his wife but a plaything. You should be relieved that I am still in love with you. So just forget everything and pretend you haven't seen anything." I stared at him. How could a man be so shameless? I wanted to slap myself for falling for him. His words made me even more despised that I pushed him hard. "You don't have to think about me. Go play with your Louisa like you have been doing all these times." Saying that, I walked out of the house. My legs felt shaky. I had no idea where to go. What should I do now? What would I do with this betrayal in my life? How would I explain Bruce to my mother and brother? I promised to introduce him to them soon. My brother appeared to be very knowledgeable about people. He had warned me about Bruce before, but I never paid attention to his words. How stupid I was. I made my way to the road. I didn't have the strength to wait for a cab. My thoughts were jumbled. Tomorrow was my 18th birthday. Fate really gave me a great present. I thought they were preparing something for my birthday, but little did I know they had been cheating on me for a long time. Why did all of this happen to me? I was a simple girl who was happy with her small family. Why did he come and break me so badly? He called me a weak Omega. He thought about me like this all the time. I walked like a crazy woman to the road. I had no idea where I was or how long I had been walking. My steps became slower as I began to feel the sun, and its intensity nearly drove me insane. I was sweating, crying, and depressed that I could hear horns behind me. "Hey girl, go die somewhere else. Get out of our path. Our Alpha is getting late." I was so occupied in my messed up mind that I could not hear the driver clearly. When I turned around, I was astounded to see a long line of black cars behind me. A bulky man emerged from a car that was in the middle of the other cars. Then he opened the back door for someone. A man in a black suit came out and made his way towards me. Because of the sunlight and my glossy eyes, I could not see his face. He took a slow stride forward and came to a halt in front of me. His presence blocked the sunlight from falling on my face. I blinked to get a better look at him. It was Bryan Morrison. How did I end up meeting him twice on the same day? I was unable to think of what to call him now. Big brother-in-law? Bryan? Alpha? He had a frown on his face as he stared at me. He might be wondering why I was in the middle of the road. I wanted to tell him about what his brother had done to me, but before I could, I felt unsteady darkness began to descend around me. I felt myself slamming into his hard chest. His strong arms encircled my waist almost immediately. When he touched me, I felt a strange sensation that I had never felt before. Before I could comprehend the unfamiliar feeling, I passed out in his arms. When I opened my eyes, it was already evening. A few times I blinked my eyes. I could see the ceiling of my room. I sat up and rubbed my forehead. For a minute, I could not understand what had happened. My thoughts immediately went to the scenario in which Bruce was with Louisa. At first, I was under the impression that it was a nightmare. But then I realized what I witnessed today. Bruce cheated on me. I will never forgive you, Bruce. I hate you. I wanted to get out of bed. However, my mind stopped when I thought about how I got back home. My eyes widened. I covered my mouth with my hands. I fainted in Alpha's arms. How? Why? Did he send me home? I went downstairs to ask my mother. She was cooking something in the kitchen. Mom! Sophia? You woke up? My mother turned to me and asked. She cupped my face and said, "What happened to you, my child? Are you feeling okay now?" "I am fine, Mom." "Who sent me home?" "Your brother took you back home." "Brother?" I was confused. He said he was going with Alpha to a pack meeting. They were in a hurry. But a girl appeared in front of one of their vehicles, and Alpha went to check for himself. Since Abraham was the Gamma, he also went to check on the situation and make sure everything was in order. But then he saw you unconscious. He told Alpha that you were his sister and brought you back home. I lowered my head. He must be feeling embarrassed because of me. No, my child. Why are you saying this? You are his sister. You are his responsibility. I nodded my head. My mother told me to eat something, but I refused. I was not in a mood to eat anything. I went back to my room. I cried a lot in my room. I tried not to cry out loud because I did not want my mother to be aware of my shattered heart. At least not at this time. When it was midnight, my mother and brother came to my room with a birthday cake. Happy birthday. I was stunned by their sudden appearance. I immediately wiped my eyes and tried to hide my face with my hair. Safi, what happened? Abraham asked. Nothing, brother. He placed the cake on the bed and sat beside me. My mother sat on the other side. I didn't ask you about today. What happened to you? I was just tired, brother. Nothing else. I am sorry that I wasted your time and embarrassed you. No worries, silly girl. This is not something you should cry for, Abraham said, and he patted my head. Now make a wish and cut the cake. My mother told me that I closed my eyes. I don't know what to wish for. From now on, I will follow my fate wherever it may lead me. I said to myself and blew out the candle. I cut my birthday cake. I had to smile because I did not want to show my sorrow to my family. After eating pieces of cake and giving me 2 envelopes, Abraham and mother left my room. I put the envelopes in a drawer. I did not have a mind to open them. They worked hard, and the money in those envelopes was their earnings. How could I always use those without giving them anything in return? I lay on my bed and tried to fall asleep with a broken heart. The next day I spent the entire day confined to my room. Due to the fact that I did not go out for lunch, my mother brought lunch to my room. She informed me that I needed to get ready in time because Abraham would send someone to take us to the pack house. I don't want to go, Mom, I told her. How could I go to that house? It was my ex-boyfriend's house. I had no relationship with him now. I did not want to see his face again. You have to go. It's Alpha Bryan's engagement ceremony. Your name is clearly stated on the invitation card. You can't deny it, my child. It's a rule. I was an Omega. If there was any rule that I breached, I would not be able to survive any royal retribution. Therefore, I had no choice but to consent to going. I started to get ready in the evening. I wore a simple white dress that my mother bought for me as a birthday present. I put on a pair of white heels. Then I put on some light makeup and let my hair down. My mother saw me when I went downstairs. You look so beautiful, Sophia. Thanks, Mom. She hugged me and cried. If your father were here, he would have been happy to see you. I patted her back. She was right. I was missing my father. I am not going with you. Why, Mother? My back pain returned. She replied with a low chuckle. Then I am also not going as well. No, you have to go. We talked about this before. I sighed and told her to take care of herself. Then I left my house. A car was parked outside. The driver came out and opened the back door for me. As soon as I got in, he returned to his seat and started the car. The car reached the pack house. I got down and called my brother. He came out to take me inside the house. He held my hand and headed to the other side. Not this side. No, this is the residential area. We are going to the next building, which is a massive hall. That is used for all kinds of events. I gave him a slight nod and continued going. I was praying not to see Bruce. I did not want to see him and lose my sanity there. I entered the hall. It was large. The hall was decorated beautifully, just like the pack house I had seen yesterday. Stay here and enjoy the party. I have to go somewhere now. I will be back in half an hour. Call me if you get bored, Abraham said to me. I turned to him. What are you saying? What would I do here alone? Just enjoy the engagement ceremony. Your boyfriend is here too, so I don't think you'll need me here. But don't get too close before our confirmation. Okay? I lowered my head and nodded my head. If he knew what Bruce had done, he would have been very angry and probably killed him in anger. After my brother left, I stood in a corner for a while. I looked around and noticed the former Alpha and Luna. They looked delighted. All the guests were waiting for the ring exchange moment. Suddenly, my view turned foggy. I smelled something I had never smelled before. It was a mixed smell of rain and forest. It was a very addictive scent. I turned my head left and right, then sniffed the air to smell the scent more and more. My legs began to step forward without my approval. People started to gather around someone or a family. They said now Alpha and the future Luna would exchange rings. But who could control my wolf? She disagreed to stop my steps and tried to take over me. I felt like I would pass out if I could not reach the owner of the scent. I took another whiff of the air and then proceeded to the direction where the scent was coming from. I pushed the crowd and took long strides in front of the royal family. They turned their heads toward me. I could sense Bruce's eyes on me. However, my eyes were not on him but on someone else. Someone that I could not believe it was his scent that pulled me here. I was unable to think of anything. I moved closer and stopped in front of him. Everyone started to whisper about why I suddenly went to the couple at the moment of their engagement. My wolf started to chant, "Mate, mate, mate." I was shocked that I found my mate. It was the scent of my mate. But the owner of the scent was none other than Bryan Morrison, the head alpha of the Nightshade Pack. His eyes turned red when they darted at me. He glared at me, showing that he was not pleased to see me or to learn that I was his mate. My wolf could not take his cold look. I felt my knees tremble upon seeing his fierce eyes. I fell on my knees in front of him. I raised my head and looked at him. My eyes turned ocean blue. Tears streamed out of my eyes. I could not stop myself from calling him in front of everyone, "Mate." The moment I called him mate, I was greeted by a loud growl that caused my heart to quiver. It sounded like an enraged growl. The only way I could stop myself from moving was to close my eyes. Many members of the pack who did not hold a very powerful rank began to fall to their knees. They could not take Alpha's growl. It was not something that they were able to withstand with their strength. It was Bryan's cold voice that prompted me to open my eyes when he said, "Raise." I thought he was talking to me, so I opened my eyes slowly. But I was wrong. He was looking at other people. Because when he growled, every pack member submitted to him. My fear prevented me from getting to my feet. I had no idea what to do as I was lost in my situation. As soon as they heard his command, everyone stood straight. They were so afraid to let out a word. I always heard about Alpha Bryan's dominance over other alphas, but today, I actually was witnessing it. Bryan, his fiancée Mila, murmured as she grabbed his arm. What this crazy girl is saying? She is lying, right? I could tell that her eyes were filled with desperation. I hunched my head down and bit my bottom lip. I was able to comprehend the fear that she was experiencing at the possibility of losing her beloved person. Bryan's beta looked at everyone and announced, "Ladies and gentlemen, there is a confusion here. We may have faith that Alpha will be able to solve the confusion. We regret to inform you that the engagement ceremony can't proceed from this point forward. In the future, we will provide you with information regarding it. The royal family will handle the situation from here on out, so you can all leave now." Every guest except Mila's parents left the pack house. When Bryan's mother saw everyone had left, she spoke out, "Sophia, what are you saying? Tell us that you are just kidding, right?" I raised my head and looked at her. I slowly shook my head in response. It was impossible for me to stop the tears from falling from my eyes. Her pupils drew together. Bruce took a step back when he heard me. "What nonsense!" I heard another angry growl coming from Harry Morrison, who had previously held the position of head alpha. In a furious tone, he said to his son, "Bryan, say something." In a state of helplessness, I looked at Bryan. I was the focus of his attention as his eyes turned back to black. "Bruce," he called out to his brother, pausing for a moment as if he were communicating with him through their mind link. "Why, yes, brother." Bruce let out a shaky tone. He walked to me and grabbed my arm. I frowned at him. "What are you doing? Let's go from here." He pulled me up and started to drag me somewhere. I was powerless. I was at a loss for what course of action to take in that circumstance. I twisted my head to look at Bryan as Bruce was continuing to drag me. Bryan appeared to be in a state of rage as he gave me a glare. I knew he was angry. He did not want me as his mate. In fact, we were not even familiar with one another. Only twice did we meet, and both times it was in an awkward position. Furthermore, he was in a relationship with a woman whom he was planning to marry in the near future. But I was his mate, and he could not deny that. Was he still planning to continue the engagement? I could see a middle-aged couple, which I assumed was Mila's parents. They were shooting gazes at me. I tried to ignore them. "Where are you taking me?" I asked Bruce. He did not answer me. I was having a hard time releasing his firm hold on me. He took me to the residential area. He pulled me to the pack house and headed upstairs. Upon seeing us, the maids were taken aback. "Where are you going?" "Leave me." He took me to the last room on the left corner. "It is my brother's room," he replied and shoved me inside. I recognized that this was the room I had entered yesterday. Bruce closed the door behind me and did not lock it, which relieved me. "Why did you take me here?" I asked him. "My brother told me to do that." "He did?" I asked in a lower voice. Bruce rushed near me and grabbed my arms. He held on with a firm grasp. "He was hurting me." "Is he really your mate? You were lying, right?" You just want to destroy my family's reputation to get revenge on me, isn't it? Pushed him. What are you saying? What you said in the hall was not true. He said to me with a confused face. Of course it was true. Do you think I am like you? I can't step down so low like you. No. He yelled at me. This is impossible. You are lying. How can my brother be your mate? I don't know. I mumbled that. I looked around as if I was trying to find the answer within myself. He grabbed me again. This is not true. You are mine. That time my mind came back to its senses. I looked at him. In this bewilderment, I almost forgot about his betrayal. What he did to me was unforgettable. How could I forget about it in just a moment? He was a vicious man. Let me go. I tried to push him again, but he was an alpha. Not every time I could push him on my own. I did not have that strength. Suddenly, the door burst open and I heard a deep voice. Leave her.